interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special on the PCSRA Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other disseminations or the use of this broadcast, descriptions, or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the PCSRA Weekly Show. It's brought to you by Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Stores. For over 51 years, it is the proud sponsor of the PCSRA Weekly Show. The PCSRA Weekly Show broadcast is also brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage you fans that together we can end DUI. Now, with the call of today's PCSRA Weekly Show from the Blue Hedgehog Studios in War Acres, Oklahoma, here is your host, the voice of the PCSRA, Daniel Voiles.
On this great day, we say it's difficult to say goodbye to a racing driver, as is the case what happened on Saturday at Spa-Francorchamps when 22-year-old Anthoine Hubert lost his life in a dangerous accident. And from all of us here in the PCSRA, we want to send our thoughts and prayers for that. And we took a moment of silence to play the French national anthem in his honor. As I say, hello and good evening, and welcome to a Monday night edition of the PCSRA Weekly Shows. The PCSRA is on the air here on the PCSRA Radio Network, the Blue Hedgehog TV, and on your mobile device with the PS4 Radio Network. Daniel Voiles from here in our PCSRA studios. Producer and engineer in our LA studios, Brad Lewis. It is the PCSRA Weekly Show, and unfortunately, as I said before, we come out of this race weekend, with heavy hearts, as unfortunately Anthoine Hubert of France, who was the reigning GP3 champion, and got promoted up to GP2. Unfortunately, he lost his life in a terrible accident. And from all of us here in the PCSRA and everybody else, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends and everybody for the Renault Sport team, and also to our Formula 2 friends and that are devastated by this tragedy. So that's why, in his honor, we are doing the, we are here for the PCSRA Weekly Show, in memory of Anthoine Hubert. That's why we took a moment of silence, and also played the French national anthem. So, welcome everybody. I'm the only one in the server, just chilling out. I'm just gonna tell everybody we are live. And, yeah, you know, it's really hard, you know, to think about the race weekend, if you know what I mean. You know, a lot of people say that it was a great race weekend, not without, you know, as I said, heavy hearts in the motorsports world. And again, like I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. And yeah, so we're definitely going to miss Anthoine Hubert, who, in my opinion, was an amazing person, if you ask me. So, that's one of many announcements. I want to start off, like I mentioned, you know, just as I said, prayers and condolences to everybody. Now we're going to just get to a couple of announcements before we get started. First off, give me 1 second, I need to do something here. Number one is that you know, we're over here because I want to have some new members for the weekly show, as far as stuff is concerned. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. And, you know, hopefully it will be an exciting, hopefully this upcoming weekend will be better than this weekend, or this past, like what we saw last time out. So yeah, let me see if anybody is live and ready to join me in the Great Lakes server. Doesn't look like it. Other things is that the PCSRA racing, we're gonna wait and we're gonna wait and see when we're ready to do it, because I don't feel like ready to start off the show, as I just hit the wrong freaking button. GG me. Yeah, so alright. So, yeah. Other things, we'll get to that in just a second. I need to go ahead and send this to Taylor so he can join. I sent that to him. If Orman's already got one, I'll resend it to him. I'll just put in the Norla chat if anybody else wants to come join me. Oh, looks like we got one, but I got a few more announcements. Next announcement is that if you don't remember, the PCSRA Elite Series drivers, reason we haven't been doing any racing lately is because we're coming up to the 4-year anniversary of the passing of Pierre Smith, who used to be a great, amazing driver, and in my opinion, let me put in, let me just tell everybody, but they're doing it because they want to spend some time with family and friends over. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. And, yeah, so with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and unmute, because there is, well, basically nobody, here. I need to send Goforth a link. Give me 1 second. And I'll explain in a second why we're over it. So, yeah. Today's episode of the PCSRA Weekly Show, we are going to recap, if I go back to my server, we're going to recap if I go back here to my agenda, we'll recap Darlington, Portland, and Belgium. We'll take you through some news and notes in today's NR report. Go through the breaking news stories on what has happened so far. Some paint scheme previews, if we have any. Paint scheme previews, sports news, if any, and then we'll look ahead to Indianapolis for the penultimate race for the Xfinity Series, the Cup race's final regular season race before the playoffs, and then the Italian Grand Prix at Monza for F1 on their second race coming out of the summer break. Joining me is making his debut, it's Trixie, who is muted. Okay, interesting. I was hoping for more people to come join. That's why I just told my panelists to come join, so yeah. I don't think I muted him. No, I did not. I'm gonna raise that volume up. Let me check something real quick. My pronouns are she/her. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Funny thing is that the weekly show, we've never had a female join us for the weekly show as a member. As far as that is concerned, I think we might have made history. So. Okay, let me tell Taylor if... Oh, you're a transgender female. Okay, so technically it's the first time we've had a female on the show for the weekly show. How about that? Hooray. That's amazing. That's a great way to make sure you write it down. Yes, yay. So a streak of having all males on the weekly show has now come to an end, but do I care? Am I not happy? Yeah. I know, but yeah, I was hoping for Great Lakes to come and everybody else to join me. Unfortunately, I don't know where everybody else is. Well, Great Lakes will join us, so yay. Okay, I'm just going to check to see. Taylor should join soon. I just sent him a deal. That new logo of NASCAR on Twitter, NASCAR Breakdown on Twitter, that's weird. Yeah. Yeah, join. Let me, hang on 1 second. Cody. 13 hours. Oh, good lord. Oh, I got something. Copy that. That was a ping. Elijah just put out a ping. Anyway, so if you guys want to join the weekly show, we're in Great Lake Outlaw server. We'd normally be in my server, but oh dear. Oh my gosh, in the MTHRC server. Alright, let's kick off the weekly show. 1 second, my deal wants to be a derping grandpa, I don't know why. Anyway, where are my results? I need to get my IndyCar results down here. I need to get my Xfinity. I need, like Xfinity for, excuse me. I don't know why I just hiccuped, but oh well. Just a warning to anybody, I just got done with dinner, so I hope you guys don't mind. So, yeah. I had ribs and I didn't share with Taylor. Alright. Anybody else? No, I don't. Yeah. Okay, so Taylor's getting ready to come in here and join me. So while we're waiting for everybody else to join, and you guys want to listen to me blabber, let's kick off the weekly show recapping. I'll start with Darlington, start with the Xfinity Series, just get that out of the way. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the race because I had to work that day. But I'll explain to you how it all went down. Hi, Elijah. The following will include Daniel. Oh, good lord. I knew that was going to happen. But anyway, let's recap the Xfinity race. I couldn't watch the race because I had to work, but I'll explain to you how it went down. Early going of the race, looked like John Hunter Nemechek got loose coming off turn number 4. He actually spun out, didn't hit anything. Sure you did. Only made slight contact at the inside wall, but it didn't look too bad, so he continued on. Morgan, by the way, J-Ski, you derped. Morgan had a brake issue, not an electrical, because what Brian told me in the Victory in Jesus chat is that his brakes were gone. Like, since when do you have no brakes at freaking Darlington? Because you need brakes. So, nice dirt by J-Ski. Rest of stage 1 was very calm and clean. It was won by Tyler Reddick. Then contact between Gray Golding, Noah Grigson, and Brandon Brown sent Brandon Brown into the inside wall, damaging the rear of his car. Unfortunately, his day came to a very disappointing end for that Terry Labonte throwback. Second verse, same as the first for stage 2. It was calm and clean. It was won by Ryan Blaney. Then we had an incident between the 36 of Josh Williams and the 01 of Landon Castle. They got together and went around. Both drivers did continue on. At the end of the day, it was Denny Hamlin who originally won the race, as Great Lakes is here. Yay. But, unfortunately, Denny Hamlin got disqualified, handing the win, not handing the win, GG me, and Cole Custer ended up taking home the victory as a result of Denny Hamlin's disqualification. So the top 10 results for the Xfinity Series are as follows. It was Cole Custer the win, Tyler Reddick second, Ryan Blaney third, Christopher Bell fourth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. fifth, Chase Briscoe sixth, Brandon Jones 7th, Noah Grigson 8th, Justin Allgaier 9th, and Austin Cindric completed the top 10 because of Denny Hamlin's disqualification. So, how did I been on Chrome for 13 hours, you derp? Oh, good lord. So, that's how the Xfinity Series went. We went to the Cup race, which, by the way, was delayed until 10 o'clock due to inclement weather, and because they couldn't postpone the race to today because of Hurricane Dorian coming its way, so they had to run it at 10 o'clock, and I think they made the right decision running the race. Of course, they had a competition yellow because of all that rain they had but they did get the track dry, so the competition yellow went out the window. The first actual incident was between the 54 of Garrett Smithley and the 38 of David Reagan. Made some contact on the back straightaway. Neither driver hit anything. They continued on. Rest of that stage, with the exception of the competition yellow, was very calm and clean. Which Kurt Busch ended up winning stage number 1. And then contact between Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman going into turn 2. Looked like Suarez got in the back of Ryan Newman, spun him out. Suarez said he didn't touch him. The replay says otherwise, as far as that's concerned. Then Corey LaJoie got spun off turn number 2. Looked like he got loose, spun out, didn't hit anything. He continued on. Then the 51 of BJ McLeod and the 36 of Matt Tiff got together. McLeod had some damage. Fortunately, McLeod's day was done. Matt Tiff continued on as usual. Then a big wreck, which I believe ended stage number 2. Yeah, it ended the stage, which Kyle Busch ended up winning stage number 2. Then the big one happened, involving Kurt Busch, Daniel Hemrick, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Michael McDowell, Jimmy Johnson. Looked like somebody was trying to come down the pit road. Denny, I know, clipped the 34 Michael McDowell. He had some heavy damage to his car. Unfortunately, his day came to an end. Everybody else involved continued on. And then the rest of the race, it was a fuel mileage race. Came down to a pair of JGR drivers, even though Kyle Larson was trying to reel in Eric Jones. Unfortunately, ran out of time, and Eric Jones gets his second win of the second career Cup Series win, and his first in the Southern 500. Imagine Eric Jones pulls a Brad Keselowski for next year as far as that's concerned. So the top 10 results for the Cup Series race was as follows. Eric Jones, the winner. Kyle Larson, second. Kyle Busch, third. The Kyle Show. How about that? Kevin Harvick, fourth. Brad Keselowski, fifth. Clint Bowyer, sixth. Kurt Busch, seventh. Matt DiBenedetto, eighth. Paul Menard, ninth. And Austin Dillon completed the top 10. Moving over to the west coast of Portland International Raceway. This race was ran before the rain delay race at Darlington. Good job by NBC. The race really got interesting. First incident on the first corner. James Hinchcliffe, Connor Daly, Zach Veach, and Graham Rahal made contact in turn 1. Unfortunately, their damage was terminal. Their days were done. Then Ryan Hunter-Reay lost control in the braking, hit Jack Harvey, did a lot of damage to their suspension in turn 1. Turn 1 was like calamity corner, if you ask me. If my mic would stop falling down, thank you very much. Hang on one second. There we go. Then, towards the end of the race, Santino Ferrucci had a mechanical problem. Unfortunately, the problem turned out to be terminal. That brought out a very late race yellow, which set up a very interesting finish. And when the checker flag, Mike falls down again. Well, I have a headset, so yeah. At the end of the day, Will Power gets a big victory and takes home the win. You can all thank Tricks for that, lol. That's funny. Will Power ended up taking home the win. So the top 10 results for the race at Portland went as follows. Will Power, the winner. Felix Rosenquist, second. Alexander Rossi, third. Colton Herta, fourth. Joseph Newgarden, fifth.
Spencer Pickett 6th, Simon Pagenaud 7th, Matthias Lace 8th, Sebastian Bourdais 9th, and Charlie Kimball completed the top 10. Just to let everybody know, Connor Daly took over for Marcus Ericsson because Ericsson was needed in case Kimi Räikkönen couldn't go. Which brings me to Spa-Francorchamps. Interesting race, I would have to say. First corner, Kimi Räikkönen and Max Verstappen going in the tight right-hander, which I think it's Source. Made some contact. Kimi's car had the right side tires off the ground. Max Verstappen hit him with the left front. Then he went into a rouge. Broke the suspension, slammed in the tire wall. Thankfully, he was okay. That brought out a safety car. Then, Carlos Sainz, under the safety car, had a mechanical problem, which unfortunately the problem was terminal. His race was done. Oopsie, somebody is not happy. Unfortunately, that was the end of the day for them, as far as that's concerned. Then on the restart, everybody got going. Towards the end of the race, Antonio Giovinazzi, coming in the double left, got on the curb, lost control, slammed into the tire wall, which normally would have brought out a safety car, but because it was on the last lap of the race, they just threw a local yellow. Then Lando Norris had a mechanical problem after taking the one lap to go. Unfortunately, his race was done. And give me 1 second. Let me move him over here. As Cody Goforth is here. Hey, Cody. Haven't talked to you in ages, mate.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Sorry, just been really busy.
Oh, it's understandable, mate. Hey, be glad I got you some points. Just be glad. Yeah. So, of course, Lando Norris had a mechanical problem. And at the end of the day, it came down to an interesting battle between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Hamilton could not beat him, and Charles Leclerc pulls off a huge upset win at Spa-Francorchamps and wins the Belgium Grand Prix the day after Hubert's accident that claimed his life. So congratulations to Charles Leclerc, his first ever win in F1. How about that? So the top 10 results for the F1 race was as follows. Charles Leclerc, the winner. Lewis Hamilton, second. Valtteri Bottas, third. Sebastian Vettel, fourth. Alex Albon, who had to start at the back because of engine penalties, took fifth. Sergio Perez, sixth. Danny Kvyat, seventh. Nico Hulkenberg, eighth. Pierre Gasly, ninth. And Lance Stroll complete the top 10. So now I turn to the panelists, and I ask you guys this question, and that is, what were your thoughts on Spa, Darlington, and Portland? Cody, go forth. I'll start with you.
Man, those are some amazing races. The F1 race, I'm so glad someone other than Lewis Hamilton won. Finally. Thank God. Darlington, interesting racing. 2 days in a row, both Xfinity and Cup. I'm surprised that someone not named, someone who doesn't drive from college got DQ'd. That's incredible. And the Cup race was especially a really good race. Sadly, my driver was not able to get the victory like I thought he would, but he gained some points on the guys he's racing for the playoffs, so just hopefully we can make it in.
Yeah, and definitely, and especially the Cup race, which had to start at 10 p.m. Eastern due to inclement weather. So, that's pretty good. Let me see what, let me ask Great Lake and all that. Oh, it's a PS3 mic. Okay, that explains it.
It's different. I'm surprised that we're in a different server than we were last.
Well, the reason is I wanted to get some new members for the weekly show go forth. That's probably why. So, for some reason, I'm surprised the big names have not showed up. You know, I expected Teal and Taylor and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So, don't ask Trixie about Darlington. He was an NASCAR fan. Ask him about Spa. Oh, good lord. Oh my word. That's just too dang funny. Well, here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you go forth is that it's actually our third different winner. Or no, fourth. Oh, go forth had to go do something. It's actually our fourth different winner. Because you had Hamilton, Bottas. No, let me think. Valtteri Bottas, Verstappen. Yeah, I was right. Fourth different winner. How about that? That's crazy if you ask me. Okay, everybody, let's get into the breaking news stories. As I mentioned before, the F2 race weekend at Spa, after the deadly accident that claimed Hubert. If it's too dang fun, if it's too dang funny, then how in the fact that Smart always streams in his bathroom not funny? Oh, joy. Oh, whoops, I hit the wrong button. Okay then. So anyway, getting to the breaking news stories. As I mentioned before, this race weekend was to dedicate, our friend who unfortunately died, which was, oh gosh darn it, you stupid thing.
What happened?
My stupid thing wants to be a jerk. So, after losing Anthoine Hubert, the rest of the weekend for F2 was canceled and it will not be made up. Carrera, who actually got into the side of who was involved, had one Manuel Carrera had surgery, which was successful as far as that is concerned. So again, our best wishes go out to the drivers who are recovering from their injuries, if you ask me. Some interesting NASCAR news, if I pull this up. Bristol Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Atlanta Motor Speedway have already opened up their facilities to the people that are about to be in danger of Hurricane Dorian that will hit the area. So, we want to send everybody best wishes as far as that's concerned. Chad Knaus got fined for one missing lug nut. Same with Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, and Matt Benedetto's crew chief. They also were fined for one loose lug nut that was not properly installed. So that's no surprise there. Let me see here. NASCAR NBCSN earned a 1.13 overnight rating for the Bojangles Southern 500, which was delayed more than 3 hours and ended around 2 a.m. Eastern. Delay thwarted a fully directed comparison of last year's race, which ran on time but got a 1.5. So, interesting, if you ask me. Oh yeah, it was still there. Interesting, some Oh, I forgot to do an NR report. I'll do that after we go through the top story news. Other news topics is that Nico Hülkenberg will not be driving for Renault next season. Esteban Ocon will be replacing Nico Hülkenberg over at Renault next season. So, what's your take on that? As there goes Trixie.
Hulkenberg's good enough to get a ride elsewhere. Thing is, he's after he's got to prove himself first to me. Because he has to show, like, he needs to be consistent with the way he finishes in order to pass me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, it's nice that it's nice to see, you know, Esteban Ocon back in a F1 ride, but you know, at the same time, you know, it's sad to see, you know, Hulkenberg out of a ride, but as you said, you know, we hope that he gets a ride very soon. Also, some other news, Valtteri Bottas has been guaranteed his spot with Mercedes next season, as Mercedes has re-signed his extension, so that's good news there. Red Bull is using Alex Albon to see who will be teammates with Max Verstappen in 2020, since Pierre Gasly did get moved down to Toro Rosso, so that's going to be interesting to see how that will play out. Let me see here. Oh, I want to send our congratulations to our new Indy Lights champion, if I go back to my recording chat. And that is, if I can find it, because I put it in here before everybody else. I put it in the recording chat. Let me see. Oh, Oliver Askew is the 2019 Indy Lights champion. Guess what? He gets a scholarship and 3 IndyCar starts next season. So that's going to be interesting. With what team? We don't yet know. The Ardian Formula 2 team will field just one car for Alfa Romeo's Formula 1 Junior Tatina Calderon at Monza in the wake of Anthoine Hubert's death, which is understandable if you ask me. So, yeah. Time to take you through some news and notes in today's NR report. Yours truly took part in the 3 ASCC races. We first went over to the, if I can pull up my movie team. Or not movie team. Gosh dang it. I meant EFR. I'm a derping grandpa. Alright. Our first race weekend, we went to San Antonio. As I said, let me log in because it likes to kick me out for no apparent reason. So, had a good race at San Antonio. Unfortunately, got involved in some incidents, not of my doing. But, you know, it was a fun race. Ended up getting 14th, which is actually one of my best performances in the ASCC. Then we went to Middle Georgia. Unfortunately, got taken out of somebody's wreck. Ended up 32nd there. And then my most recent race, which was at Nashville, I ended up finishing 20th. So I've only had like 3 DNFs in the first 4 races of the season. And our next race for us, we are going to our next 3 races, which are, if I look here, they are, if I can find it, because I have the ASCC schedule. Our next 3 races are going to be consisted of the Albuquerque Speed Bowl at in New Mexico. Our okay, here it is. Albuquerque Speed Bowl presented by Zing Energy in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Then Myrtle Beach, and then we're heading off to Trenton Raceway. That is our next 3 races on the schedule. So we're definitely looking forward to those next 3 races, and you can catch it on Sieg's channel, CJ Studios 1. So, hooray! Let me see. Let me tell everybody we're.
Once we get to sports news, I have a whole bunch
Yep.
of catch up.
Alright. Alright, we are getting ready to do that right now. So, alright. What's going on in the sports news? I heard Gavin Lux is, by the way, making his debut for the Dodgers. You didn't hear that news.
I heard that, like, earlier today.
Yeah.
Just going through stuff. Anyway, in the world of NFL, the Bills have released longtime running back LaShawn McCoy, who then got picked up, I believe, by the Chiefs. So that's an interesting little play right there. Andrew Luck retired at age 29. I know you've probably heard that by now, but
Yep.
he stated the reasons he retired at the at a press conference before the preseason ended, and it was actually because he's had so much his mental health has been affected by all the injuries he's been dealing with. The Saints have not yet announced who's going to be playing corner. If it's going to be PJ Marcus Williams or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. According to a couple of insiders inside with the Saints, they say it's going to be Gardner-Johnson making the roster, and Williams going to be his backup. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? Colin Kaepernick tweeted out a couple weeks ago that he's getting back in the gym, getting, and I quote, ready to hopefully get hired, because everyone knows that he's partnered with Rock Nation and Jay-Z, which is now one of the new partners for NFL, and since Andrew Luck just retired, so this should be an interesting. That's a developing story right now. Also, developing story. A couple of key players are out right now. Devion Clowney, former Texans linebacker / D-end, is now going to Seattle to go play for the Seahawks. That is an incredible move. What is your thought?
That's pretty interesting, if you ask me, to see how that will how that will go. Easy for me to say.
Jerick McKinnon is on IR for the season.
That's never good.
Yeah. So that's an interesting move. Also, college football is back.
Yep, my OU Sooners took care of business last night. We were the only game last night.
My Alabama Crimson Tide took care of business against Duke 42-3 on Saturday.
And a butt whooping.
Memphis beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, the SEC got destroyed big time this weekend. And what's funny is that the Big 12 went 10-0 this weekend.
Which is funny.
That's crazy if you ask me. Yep.
But that's it for the world of NFL.
And other sports news.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I think that's basically all we have to say for that one. Again, guys, if you don't know, we're in the Great Lakes server hosted by Great Lakes himself. And yeah. So with that said, let's look ahead. We have the final race for the Cup Series before their playoffs begin next time out at Las Vegas. We have Indianapolis coming up, as we're going to look ahead to that. We also have Monza. So I think Goforth is glad we have Monza to take care of, if you know what I mean. So thank God for that. So I think Goforth is going to be glad we have some good picks. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're going from Monza, or not Monza, excuse me. We're going from Spa, easy for me to say, to Monza, the fastest track in the world. Now, we talked about Ferrari with their new upgraded power unit. It's been very good, and we saw it at Spa. Do you think we might see it again at Monza, considering A, it's their home race, and B, as I can't even talk. But what do you think we're going to see at Monza this weekend?
I think we're going to be seeing some,
Oh, whoops.
see a couple of people pull away from the pack early on, and then just pitch strategy ruin someone's race a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? I think Ferrari might have a chance coming off the momentum.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be good if and tires are going to be different. Even though we're on with the red, yellow, and white tires this year, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
That's up to you, mate. I'll leave that decision to you. So, what do you think we're going to see at Indianapolis with the rules package go forth? The Xfinity Series are going to run the restrictor plates and the rules package. That's going to be interesting. So, what do you think we might see in that one?
I think we're going to see one person who drives the 48 Ally Chevrolet be very aggressive getting in there.
Yeah, and of course, this is the last chance for the drivers. A win would get you in the playoffs, and that's really key if you ask me. As far
Jimmy is 18 points back, so
Yep.
he needs a good run.
he needs a good run, he needs to have other people to have problems going into that race weekend, if you know what I mean.
He needs something right to absolutely get turned by Suarez, and Suarez takes out as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as a Jimmy Johnson fan, I hope he has a good run, and I hope they can make the playoffs. Could say that straight, but
Yeah.
it's doubting it.
But the good thing is William Byron will make his first ever playoffs. That's the good news if you ask me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if Jimmy can make it in, that'll be the first time in a few years that all of Hendrick made it in to the playoffs.
Yeah, first time for Bowman and all that. So, with that said, let's get us into our predictions presented by Courtyard by Marriott. If you're brand new to this show, you don't know how our predictions go, it goes like this. Driver to win, driver to stay away from, driver you pick as the dark horse. Now, remember, for the Cup Series, in addition to telling me your picks for driver to win, stay away from, and dark horse, you need to tell me the final two drivers you think will make the playoffs. Because that is a guaranteed 3 points going to your total. So keep that in mind when you're making the predictions. Which, speaking of predictions, let me go over the global standings. Because, well, Cody Goforth knows he's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure. Cody Smart coming into this weekend, he currently leads the global standings with a 25-point cushion because he has 247 points. He is in second with 200. Second place is Taylor with 222, 25 points back. I'm in third place, starting to reel in Taylor because because I'm only 16 points back in third with 206 points. Nathan Norman is fourth with 193 points in the bag. Cody Goforth, you're still in it, but you got to hope for some help and hope Cody has a bad weekend, because you're fifth with 167, and then everybody else mathematically don't have a chance. David Heller sixth with 4, Derek Hamill with 7 is seventh with 3 points, and Kyle Langland is eighth with only 2 points. However, the NASCAR standings really took a shakeup since we got some new members. Cody Smart, who unfortunately didn't get the right pick for Driver Stay Away from last week, so bad tactic by Smart. As a result, has now got a 19-point lead on Nathan Orman. Orman is second with 82 points. Cody Smart, by the way, is the only person in the triple digits. I'm in third place, not too far behind by Orman. I'm 7 points back. I have 75 points in the books. Zachary Taylor is fourth with 69 points in the books. Kyle Langland is fifth with 61 points in the books. David Heller is sixth with 56. Go forth. You're seventh place with 50 points in the books. How about that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to... I've been doing my best to get as many points per week as I can, and it's been good.
Yeah, next week is going to be the shaker, because remember, we're going to Las Vegas, and the Truck Series is an elimination race, so there could be some points gained or lost in that race one weekend so far. Quentin Moore and Ty Dent are tied for 8th place, with Quentin Moore tied for 8th. Completing the top 10 is Derek Hamill with 15 points in the books. Elijah Leonard is 11th with 12 points. He is the last person that has gotten points. And then Great Lakes and Trixie, not on the board, but they will get on the board with their predictions.
Trixie's not here, you know.
Okay, so Great Lakes is in last place, but he'll get on the board eventually, so. Eventually. Alright.
Eventually.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let me see if I can find, for some reason the entry lists are not out.
I think they go out tomorrow.
Okay, we'll just make random picks. I already know who's already showing up as of right now.
Yeah.
For Xfinity, Morgan Shepherd will not be racing. I know that because of the rules change.
We all know that.
Yep. Okay. Let's kick off. Let's start with the global standings. Go forth. You can kick it off for the F1, and then we can do Indy.
Alright. My job to win Indy. This is going to be a pretty shocking one, but it will be. I think it'll work well. I think Albon pulls out the victory. He's been looking really strong as of late.
Alex Albon.
Yeah.
Yeah, correction, Monza, not Indy. I should have said Monza, not Indy. I'm sorry. I derped. I get a derp point. Then we'll do Indy for NASCAR, so, yeah.
I already know about NASCAR drivers, so they're asking me about the other stuff.
Okay, cool.
Stay away from. Honestly, my driver to stay away from. Lewis Hamilton, I feel like he's just not going to be able to rebound as well as he did before.
And the thing about it is that, you know, he had that crash in free practice 3. You know, we don't know if the chassis is going to be competitive going into that, into Monza.
Yeah. And my underdog, Sebastian Vettel, he might be pretty good.
Yep.
With his teammate getting the win last race, I know.
Can you believe it's now been a year since Sebastian Vettel has won a race in F1? Can you believe that?
That's ridiculous.
I know, right? Alright, Indianapolis time for the Xfinity Series. Oh, I need to put, who makes playoffs. Since, by the way, it's worth 3 points. It's only 2 drivers you have to pick. Okay, Xfinity for Indianapolis. Go ahead, Orman. Go for it. God damn it! I derped.
Third point.
Yep.
Again,
Alright, go ahead. Go forth.
my driver to win Indy Xfinity. Honestly, he's been looking really strong. I think Justin Allgaier wins.
Wow. The good thing is about the Xfinity race, there's going to be only 38 entries according to Brian.
That's good. Driver to stay away from the 93. I think Jeff Green's coming in it this week. If I remember.
I don't know if he's in that ride. It might be Josh Balicki. I might put Josh Balicki, but whoever's in that 93, I will give it as a stay away from. So, Dark Horse.
Underdog, Dark Horse. Ryan Sieg.
Ooh.
Turning it on these last few races. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That small team really needs it.
And he might make the playoffs because it's like 100 some odd points from 13th in the standings.
I think he's like mathematically locked because you can't gain 100 points in a single race, can you?
Unless you win.
Yeah, but I mean,
If you win, then that just throws the scenario out the window. But there's no way you're going to make up. You would have to, let me think, you would have to win, you would have to sweep all 3 stages at Indy and Las Vegas and win both races to even make the playoffs, which the chances of that happening is slim to none.
yeah.
Cup Series.
Oh no, I have to make my 2 picks for who makes playoffs. For,
Yep. Right.
Ryan Sieg is gonna make it in.
Ryan Sieg, by the way, is also racing in the Cup race. Just throwing that out there to you.
Yeah, I know. And I think the other guy who makes the playoffs on points, it's like a lot to Golding, but I think Clemens makes it in.
Yeah.
Jeremy Clemens, I think he's gonna be the next guy in.
Yeah.
So Sieg and Clemens.
Yeah, which we'll get to that when we go to Las Vegas. Alright.
Cup. My driver to win. Driver to win Indy. He looked good last year there, but I don't know if he has the speed. I think Jimmy Johnson might pull it out, honestly.
Ooh.
I mean, you saw how good he was looking before the whole incident happened at Darlington. I think he can pull it off.
Yep.
Driver to stay away from. Stay away from. The 52. I don't know who's in it this week for Go Slow, but
Yeah.
not Go Slow, excuse me, Rick Roy Racing. 52, stay away from. Underdog. I think the Dark Horse is going to be, honestly, William Byron. He might have a good chance at winning.
Alright. Alright.
And to then make the playoffs,
Oh yeah, I forgot the playoffs.
I think Johnson makes it, and I think Newman makes it.
I'm sorry, what?
Do I make a prediction for Indy, right? Sorry to interrupt you, Savage. I mean, it's good to have it put this out.
You can do whatever you want to. I don't mind.
Alright.
And what was your second one? Go for.
Speak out of Newman woman, so
Oh.
Newman makes it.
Ooh. Alright.
And I think that there's gonna be like a revenge coming down for Suarez.
Oh, tell me about it. Alright. So, Great Lakes is going to go ahead and put his picks in there. I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction since I don't have anybody else to everybody else I will get theirs tomorrow. If not, I'll get them Wednesday. Alright, so it's me! I guess you guys are curious to see who I'm going to pick for this weekend at Monza and Indianapolis and who makes the playoffs, which I'll need to... Who makes playoffs? I'm actually going to start with Indianapolis, then Monza. So the driver I picked to win Indianapolis. It was not a surprising effort, but if I had to pick a driver who definitely could win, I am going to say I'm going to go with a risk here, and this may or may not help me. Austin Cindric as the driver to win Indianapolis. I know it may be a risk, but I'm taking one just because I need to gain some points on smart.
That is a good pick. I mean, he's been solid the past few races.
Yep. My driver I have to pick to stay away from. I did some number crunching. If there's one driver who really just does not run well at Indianapolis that may be a bit concerning, I have to say stay away from Ryan Sieg.
Really?
I just think Indianapolis, I just don't see Sieg doing very well at Indianapolis. I really don't. That's kind of a shock. My dark horse for Indianapolis. Oh, this one's going to be a tough one. If I had to pick a driver who's been on a roll of, all right, see ya, go forth. I'm going to take Chase Briscoe as my dark horse. In this case, Wills crunches those numbers while he was eating his mathematics cereal. Oh, good lord. For Cup.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, I forgot. Xfinity and Cup are racing, if you didn't know that. Thanks for giving me the Cup picks. For Cup. Oh, hey, my schedule's out. Hallelujah! I'll check it later. Not interested in that. For Cup, my driver to win.
I'm out right now.
Okay, that's fine. My driver to win the Cup race. I really had to think this one very hard, I think he's going to go back-to-back. Driver to win, Eric Jones.
I better hope he goes back to back door. Somebody else is going to win.
Yeah. My driver to stay away from. Okay, I always have to take hard picks because taking easy picks does not seem right for me. It's just so ludicrous, if you ask me. But if I had to pick a driver to stay away from for a driver who does not run well at a track like Indianapolis, I have to say stay away from Denny Hamlin. And my dark horse for the Cup Series, I am going to say Kyle Busch because he's a former winner at Indianapolis. I think he's going to get the job done. Now, who makes the playoffs? My first driver, I'm going to take. Wait, what?
I forgot to pick that from Rap Traditions.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. My first driver to make the playoffs, I'm going to take a shocker here. Daniel Suarez will be my first choice.
Well, he's in the 41 after all, so.
Yeah. I think he can get it in. The second driver I think is going to make the playoffs. I am too going to go with a risk. And this may or may not be a good thing for me. But what the hell? I'm going to take a risk anyway. If there is one driver who I think could get the job done as far as making the playoffs, I'm going to say Ryan Newman will make the playoffs and Jimmy Johnson will be out. That's my risk taking. I hope it works in my favor. If it doesn't, I gave it a good shot. So, for Monza, driver to win. He's going to go back-to-back. Charles Leclerc is my driver to win. Because why not?
I don't know what he's doing.
Wait, what?
No, I'm talking about butter.
Oh.
Yeah.
driver to stay away from. Oh, I almost swept F1, but that's alright. Driver who's not been on a good, consistent... I'm gonna say stay away from Antonio Giovinazzi that is my driver to stay away from. I mean, Alpha should have had some good results, but just went downhill. My dark horse... I am going to say I'm going to take Lewis Hamilton as the dark horse.
Oh yeah, he has been doing good in F1 recently. That's why I just heard about it.
All right, your picks. You pick Kyle Busch to win, Joey Logano stay away from, Jimmy Johnson the dark horse. That's good picks.
Yeah.
Very good picks.
I take a risk do when Kyle Busch winning that because he won in 2015, but he came back from injury in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the sprint era back in the day. And then Logano
Yep.
never had a great... I'm not a fan of Logano. I just don't like him.
Yeah, I think that was either my next choice for driver stay away from is Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Logano runs well at Indianapolis. Jimmy Johnson's the dark horse.
Which is why, because my brother's very Jimmy Johnson shirt. I wear a Kyle Busch, and I got a few of different
Yep.
shirts. So that's the thing.
Alright. Let me ask any of our original panelists if they want to make predictions.
That's a good question. Because we're only two here.
Yeah. Let me ask. I have not heard from Orman. I know Cody Smart is heading back to school, aka college. I'm not sure what anybody else is doing. I think that might be it. I'll probably get them all tomorrow if you ask.
Trixie has predictions for it.
Yeah. So I'm guessing... Oh, Trixie's back.
Yeah, Trixie's back.
Yeah. I don't mind if you put in the chat as far as the Xfinity Series predictions, because all I know is we have 38 drivers for 38 spots. Wait, if it isn't my son Blue Jr., oh boy. My son Blue Jr. is in the chat. Don't ask.
What, believe that your son or somebody?
Yeah, he's my son because I have to babysit him. Alright, let me check my schedule real quick while we're waiting. Interesting to note, folks. Everyone asks why over the chat. Well, because you're my son. That's why you're in the chats, Blue Jr.
Yeah. And I'm not moderating.
I know. I don't even remember if I gave Blue Jr. permission to do YouTube, but oh well. Out of my hand. Okay, let me see. Are you kidding me? So I'm definitely gonna miss the Xfinity race, joy. But I'm not gonna miss the Cup race. How about that? Alright, so the Cup race I will watch, the Xfinity race I will not watch because I will be at work. F for me. So.
At work. I'm trying to get work.
Yeah. A few stats I want to point out. 14 people for the NASCAR standings, the most we've had in weekly show history. We've even not only doubled it, we've almost quadrupled it from last year. Yeah.
I'm with around from that, so.
Yeah. Yeah, 14 people is the most we've had for predictions. That's kind of shocker.
Predictions or not. Maybe not.
I don't know if he has or not, but if he hasn't, then he's got time until next week. Because remember, once the leader takes the green flag and crosses the line, the predictions are all locked in. So I can tell you, with the new people, it's going to shake up the standings heading into next week at Las Vegas. Which brings me to my look ahead this week's upcoming PCSRA Weekly Show events, presented by Andy's Frozen Custard, which we will recap Indianapolis next week, if I can.
Here because,
Yeah.
for good years.
Yeah, that's definitely. Want to say before. I forgot to bring this up. The F1 2020 calendar just got released last week. So the season will start March 15th at Australia for the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, same weekend as the Supercars. Then we have a back-to-back weekend with them going to Bahrain at the Sakir circuit, which Charles Leclerc should have won that race, but power unit failure said otherwise. Hanoi is the newest track on the calendar. It'll be the third race for the F1 season at Vietnam.
Oh, God.
I'm going to say this about the predictions being locked in thing. So, yeah. Then we have China, which is at the Shanghai International Circuit. The Netherlands will actually host the first race of the European Tour. That's on May 3rd at Zandvoort. Then we go to Spain and Barcelona. Do what? Oh, okay. Memorial Day weekend, that will be on May 24th, which is the Indy, Monaco, Charlotte weekend. Then Azerbaijan will be after Monaco, which is interesting, back-to-back street circuits. Then we go to Canada in Montreal, Paul Ricard in France. Then we have Austria for the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian GP after France. Silverstone for the British Grand Prix on July 19th. Then Hungary for the Hungarian GP. Then we have the summer break. Then we're at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. Then the Italian Grand Prix on September 6th. So this time next year we'll be getting ready for the Italian GP. Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Then we have Sochi in Russia. Japan at Suzuka. That's going to be a fun one. Singapore and Russia are back-to-back, so that's interesting. The United States Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix have flip-flopped. This year it's Mexico, then U.S. Next year it's back to U.S. and Mexico. Brazil will be on November 15th at Interlagos, and then the Abu Dhabi GP at Yas Marina on November 29th. Oh, no. Hey, speaking of the devil, Derek Hamill. Haven't heard from you in ages. So, yeah. Alright, let's get to straight in the final thoughts. For my final thoughts, I'm going to say, as much as we're glad about the race weekend we had at Darlington, I think a lot of people, are still praying for the victims, or praying for Anthoine Hubert after that dangerous accident, if you know what I mean, at Spa, going through a rouge and all that. But want to send our best wishes to JM Carrera, who will be in the hospital for one more day after Anthoine Hubert's accident. We hope to see him back at the track soon. Hopefully Hubert's family, we're all thinking about you as far as that's concerned. And it's really sad that, and we've said this a lot on the show, that we don't like seeing people dying of accident, but there's nothing you can do about it in a situation. Oh no, Elmo's in the chat. Oh no. Oh great, what did I get myself into with Blue Junior and Elmo? But anyway, Darlington, I think, has been fantastic. Just it was interesting with the rules package. Going to be interesting how Indianapolis will play out for the rules package as far as that's concerned. And then as far as Portland's concerned, still good racing we saw. It's going to be interesting to see how the championship race at Laguna Seca is going to play out, because it's not called Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca anymore. It's now called the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. That's going to be interesting, trying to get used to. So it's going to...
Because she just woke up, so I don't want any noise in the background.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense if you ask me. But
it's hot here, so in my opinion, it's going to be...
oh no, Blue Junior's about to kick Elmo. Oh good lord.
We'll open up the chat.
Yeah. Oh boy. Jeez. Yep. So it's gonna be, it's been an interesting race weekend. Hopefully next weekend will be a lot better as far as that is concerned. So next week we're going to recap, if I can go find my schedule here. Oh, and Supercar schedule came out. Yes. Oh, here it is.
This weekend is very sad for the F2 race, because it got postponed due to the accident.
Yeah.
I heard about 45 minutes later, because I just woke up. I was like, an accident? I mean, the last time we had a fatal crash, it was back in 2015 with Valencia and I can't pronounce the name. I'm going to butcher it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's Guska or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time we have a fatal crash.
Yeah.
On the any Formula One series. Very tragic.
Very tragic indeed. So. Yep. So next week, for the weekly show, we're going to recap Indianapolis and Monza, take you through the breaking news stories between now and then. And then we have a big schedule of racing coming up as far as that's concerned. We are going to look ahead to Las Vegas for the NASCAR. First elimination race for the Truck Series, final regular season race for Xfinity. The playoffs begin for the Cup Series. But that's not all. We also have Laguna Seca for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. It's their final sprint race before we go racing. Hi, Charlie. Nürburgring for DTM, glad they're back. And also the supercars are back after a very long off break. So, glad to see them back. So, yep. That is a look at this week's upcoming PCSRA weekly show events presented by Andy's Frozen Custard. I will see you later, Great Lakes. So, how about that? The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of the PCSRA Weekly Show, and we remind our friends together that we can end DUI. Visit enduyok.com for more details. Want to thank Great Lakes and Cody Goforth for joining me for this portion of the PCSRA Weekly Show. We'll get everybody else's predictions out of the way tomorrow. Also want to thank Kyle England, Nathan Orman, Zachary Taylor, Cody Smart, our statistician Caleb Hobbs, producer and engineer Zachary Fitzwater, Jackie Tang, and Alex Hawkins, and Greg Rutz running the show for us back at our PCSRA Network studios. Final score, one final time in Norman, Oklahoma in the season opener for college football. It was Oklahoma 49 and Houston 31. Until next week, when we recap Monza, Indianapolis, take you through the breaking news stories, some news and notes in the NR report, paint scheme previews, and all of that good stuff. And we look ahead to Las Vegas for NASCAR, Laguna Seca for IMSA, Nürburgring for DTM, and Auckland for the V8 Supercars at the greatest track in the world, Pukekohe in New Zealand. This is Daniel Voles saying, Sooners win. And Boomer Sooner, everybody.
This PCSRA Weekly Show broadcast has been brought to you by Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Stores. For over 51 years, it's the proud sponsor of the PCSRA Weekly Show. The PCSRA Weekly Show was also brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where together we can end DUI. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the PCSRA Sports Network. Copyright 2019 by the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association.